All right. I don't know if I just like almost laughed whenever I sat down.
Welcome to another episode.
Welcome to another episode of OsteoStrong. All right. So we're back, and we just thought we'd bring up some, a couple of different topics of conversation as we go through our day-to-day routines in here, talking with different clients and everything. One of the big questions that comes up on a regular basis is, hey, aren't you guys just a gym? I mean, why can't I do this, go into the YMCA or go into, other different, box gyms or personal trainers and stuff like that. So we are going to discuss, what those differences are. So, and interrupt me at any time. But, essentially what we're doing is a process that we've mentioned before called osteogenic loading. It's high levels of pressure, impact levels of pressure, all through your skeletal system. And that's what's going to trigger that natural adaptive response through your central nervous system. So the difference is you're not getting super high levels, those impact levels of pressure at the gym. That's one of the major differences. I've been a personal trainer for people, so is Josh, and he's very familiar with this too.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you'll never be able to reproduce the type of force that we're doing here in a gym. There's no way to safely do it in any kind of gym setting. So that force production factor is an important thing to think about, like when it comes to the difference between what we do here versus what we would see at a gym.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're not familiar with OsteoStrong, and those high levels of forces that we're talking about, they're different on the different machines and the different areas of your body. The one that's typically relayed through marketing and through just the different centers as they talk to it is 4.2 multiples of body weight. So that is through your hips and your legs. 4.2 multiples of body weight is a lot. For somebody like myself, I weighed, about 225 pounds. We're looking at, somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 pounds. So whenever you put that into gym perspective, that means to get that sort of impact level of pressure that I would need to grow new healthy bone tissue, I would need to squat about 1,000 pounds. So that's...
Well, and that's even to mention if you're just trying to get to that 4.2 multiples of your body weight, we see several people who go past that trigger, and so that's even,
significantly
if
past
you double
it.
that's if you go to eight multiples of your body weight, that's 2,000 pounds.
Right.
It's not possible to do that kind of force reduction.
No, certainly not safely. In fact, there is a story that I have been told by another owner that said they had a client, they had a member whose personal trainer said that they could emulate what we do here. They could make that happen. And the story, as I was told, God help them, is they were standing on a squat rack. They had a bar across their shoulders, and the personal trainer kept adding weights to the bar. It did not end well. They were injured, and after they healed, they ended up coming back to OsteoStrong, which was very positive. It's a happy ending to the story, but really kind of a sad and scary way to get there. So what we do, even though we're dealing with those really high levels of pressure, we do it in a very controlled manner, very, very safe way. So that's, unless you have something else there, that's...
No, I think when it comes to talking about that force production, there's only so much we can really kind of hit on that. There's no way to emulate those high levels of impact force points anywhere else other than what we do here.
True. Now, I will say that exercise is very important, though.
Oh, for
and
sure.
It's very complementary to what we do. So, athletes, they see benefits by coming through here. They're training their body in a different way that they're not doing through their sport, or they're not doing through strength training at the gym. It's a different type of thing there. So also very important here. So, but different. So if you're here for bone density improvements, that is really the primary difference between OsteoStrong, and exercise from a bone perspective. Now, there's also differences between the muscle strengths improvements that you're going to see, and just like I said, it's a different thing. They're complementary, but at that point, we're looking at typically, you're looking at aerobic exercises. So you're dealing with the different, fast and slow twitch muscle fibers and how you're activating them. You're looking at, in many cases, from strength training in a gym, from sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, getting that pump, or a myofibril hypertrophy, which is more of what we do here, and creating more dense muscle tissue. So I know you have a lot of background on that. So
yeah, there's two different kind of schools of thought here. When you're at the gym, you're looking at that tear breakdown factor with the muscle fiber. You're at the gym, you get those DOMS, those delayed onset muscle soreness a couple days later. That's from that muscle fiber like literally tearing and breaking itself down to grow back to become bigger. That's not what we do here. We're not trying to get that breakdown of muscle fiber in a tear scenario. We're trying to recruit more muscle fiber. So the body is designed to have a specific amount of muscle fibers in each in each muscle group, and it's how it's recruited. So it's kind of like the tension on a rope. If a small rope has a smaller amount of string, whereas a bigger rope's going to have bigger string, a thicker round, like more dense rope's going to have more strings in it. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to recruit more of those muscle fibers within the body of the muscle to make it more dense, which makes it stronger, not bigger.
Right.
So
sounds good. Well, that's kind of what what we had to talk about today, with the difference between OsteoStrong and a gym. So hopefully, and exercise. So that hopefully that makes some sense to you. As always, we'd like to invite you to check us out and try us out. We are located at 8201 Maryland Avenue in Clayton, Missouri. Our phone number here is 314-541-5661. You can email us at clayton@osteostrong.me, or you can check us out on the web, and that is www.osteostrongclayton.com. So thanks, and we'll see you next time.